The Red Sox signed Roberto Perez today, so
dude, I'm down to do an hour on that. Yeah.
Who's to say that they're not arriving back with the big boys? Who's to say?
Listen, you want to badmouth my catcher, Roberto Perez. You know who he's not? He's not Martin Maldonado, so I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. Now, are they the same age? Kinda.
I don't know about kinda. I think they actually are. I don't know about kinda.
No, I think Maldonado is like 2 years older, which is a ton once you reach that age.
Dude, Maldonado's 37? I didn't know that. I thought he was younger than that.
He's been around for a while.
Wow. He's old as shit.
I thought he was like 33. I didn't know.
Yeah, 37. I nailed it. Yeah, he's exactly 30. It was exactly 2-year difference because Perez is 35. And these are just like, I know you don't understand. You have to trade for guys on like their third teams because no one even wants them. I don't even Juan Soto, whatever his fucking name is. Those are the scrubs you guys are scraping the bottom of the barrel for. We go out, we identify top tier catchers, a guy who the Giants, they were like, oh, well, Buster Posey's dying. We need to force him into retirement so we can clear some space for Bobby Perez. That's who we go out and we identify.
Oh, he's Bobby now.
Bobby
top target. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
He's Bobby. Okay.
But
I don't know he was good enough to be Bobby, but okay.
No, he's a young 34. He's ready to contribute in Worcester, dude.
This guy's getting younger the more we talk about. He's getting younger by the same. He's just 35.
He's gonna be 23 by opening day.
He's entering his prime, from what I'm hearing. It's tough. Only teams that matter. We are joined by special guest, the one and only Steve Perrault, host of Inside the Monster, now co-worker over here at the old UD Fantasy. Welcome, pal.
Very excited to be here. This is a nice home and home we got going here. Coley Mick just came on ITM. And yeah, now we're talking all Maldonado. I want to do an hour on Maldonado and Roberto Perez and the difference in their age and the fact that Martin got at bats in 2011. That's what I want to talk about.
My picture disappeared like 5 minutes into that's just technical difficulty.
Okay.
About it.
Totally understandable.
I was so resigned to the fact that we were going to get both Seth Lugo and Martin Maldonado that I was just fine with it. Now we've got neither of them. And luckily we didn't lose a bidding war for Martin Maldonado like we did Seth Lugo, which we went into in depth on Inside the Monster yesterday. Check that out. I don't want to talk about Seth Lugo really ever again. I don't even care for previewing a series against the Royals. It won't come up, I promise. But was that funny for a Yankee fan, seeing that the Red Sox still are losing bidding wars to teams like the Rangers, not even the Rangers, to teams like the Royals? The Rangers was last offseason. To teams like the Royals now.
I was very tickled. I thought that signing Seth Lugo to play for a team that plays in Fenway wasn't the best idea to start with. So it wasn't as funny as it could have been, but they wanted him and they let the Royals outbid them for him. That is utterly hilarious, because if you can't win a bidding war with the Royals, what are we doing here? And it's not a bidding war where the guy is just wildly overpaid. It's not that. He's getting paid $15 million a year. I watched Sonny Gray get 25. Sonny Gray's good. He got paid 25. Eduardo Rodriguez got paid 20. That's the going rate. So if you weren't willing to pay that, why were you speaking to him in the first place?
Well, that's where it's like, I understand the argument where it's like, if the Red Sox drew a line in the sand, like, we'll give you 12, dude. Like, we're not overpaying for you. We got 12 for you. Take it or leave it. I don't hate that we can't be overpaying for guys you just like think are okay to eat up innings. That's where I understand. But if you were truly like, no, we need Lugo, and it's like the Royals just beat you to the punch, like that's.
But if you're a bidder, which our guy Chris Cotillo said the Red Sox were one of 4 bidders, like we talked about, Coley, I'm pretty sure that means you put money up when you're bidding. That's what they must have done. So by default, they did get outbid by the Kansas City Royals for a position in which they need the most. They most covet this position. They're ready to go full throttle. And the Royals are like, we're going to beat you. We're going to beat you to get this guy. And we're going to give him more money than you're willing to give him. I would like to know, and we had mentioned this yesterday, I would like to know what the number was the Red Sox were willing to do, right? Like where were they willing to go? Because It's even worse if the money was similar and he picked the Royals. That would hurt.
Much worse.
That hurts even more. So I'm kind of hoping they only wanted to do like 10. I'm pretty sure his deal that he opted out with was 7 a year with the Padres. So
I would bet it was like 12.
Yeah, it probably was.
They were like, we'll offer you 3 for 36. If you want more than that, pound sand. I feel like that's probably how this went.
Doesn't always feel like the deal for those kind of guys is always 3 for 36. It's never like 3 for 30. It's like
that's exactly why it was the first thing that came to mind. Like it's always feel like it's 3 for 36, 3 for 39. It always feels like that. Yeah.
It's always 12 a year, and it's like, all right, we can all agree on that. And I'm sure they were trying to do. They're like, hey, we're the Red Sox. It's what we've done before. We've had guys come in and they love the 3 for 36. It's like they're like a restaurant and they're giving out some kind of family deal. That's what they do with these pitchers. And he's saying I can get 3 million more a year in Kansas City. And apparently that was good enough. I think we almost we were all saying on Sox Twitter, like, oh my God, I can't believe they got outbid by the Royals. And there's a lot of people being like, they didn't want Seth. Why would you want Seth Lugo? It's an absolute mess. But at its core, the Royals were one of the worst teams ever last year. The Oakland A's made them look maybe not as bad because the A's were historically bad. Mm-hmm. But that's what happened. You got outbid by one of the worst teams in the history of the game. So there we go.
Fun. Very fun.
I just imagine the Seth Lugo called the Red Sox back like, hey, I got 3 for whatever he ended up getting, 345. And they're like, 3 for 36. He's like, did you hear me? I said I got 3 for 45. I'm coming back to you because I really don't want to go to Kansas City. Yo, we got 3 for 36. Bye.
Well,
bye. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Or never.
The Red Sox pivoted pretty quickly, though. We're light on our feet over here. We went out. We got Cooper Criswell, who we all know. Everyone here, not even a point in talking about him. That's
if I could say anything about him, it's that I know him. It's that I know who he is. I can tell you that.
Bro, I didn't even know people sign 1 year, $1 million deals. I genuinely didn't even know that until I read that. I was like, 1 year, $1 million. I don't think I've heard of a $1 million 1 year contract in baseball.
Well, this is where it's like, I wonder if Jeff Passan gets paid by the Red Sox because boy, oh boy, did he try and spin this into like the signing of the offseason. Right-hander Cooper Criswell and the Boston Red Sox are in agreement on a 1 year, $1 million contract. Criswell, 27, spent the last 2 seasons in Tampa Bay and was DFA'd, but found a solid market and leveraged it into a fully guaranteed big league deal. Now, I would argue Shohei Ohtani found himself a solid fucking market. I don't know that Cooper Criswell was like, my phone will not stop. The Criswell residence, they had to rip it off the wall. It would not. Every time he hung it up, it was ringing again, like the best pizza place in town. He leveraged it into a guaranteed deal. That was the leveraged minor league options versus a big league deal. That's not a solid market.
I don't know, man. The word solid must have changed definitions when I wasn't looking. Because I was solid? Like, that leads to 1 million guaranteed? Like, no disrespect to 1 million guaranteed. That's a lot of fucking money. Not in baseball free agent terms. If you had a lot of leverage, you should have got a lot more than $1 million.
Have you guys ever heard a DFA turn into a solid market? How is that even physically possible? Like, you got
in like 4 months' time, too. Not like 8 years ago he got DFA. No, he got DFA like 8 minutes ago. It's solid market. No, Jeff,
he was just deemed to suck, and now everyone wants him. Like, this guy is hot off the presses. Like, I don't
DFA by Tampa, no less.
That's what I mean. DFA'd by a team that if he was even a little good, they wouldn't have DFA'd him, and he would be like in the All-Star game next year. That's what he would be doing. So and I keep trying to come back to this. I want to see what Bailey and Craig do with arms before I just shit on everything. It was just a tough scene where it was the same day you lose out on Lugo and you're like, we got Cooper. We
got Big Coop, dude. It was such an irrelevant move that I was just about to post the show that we did, and I'm like, I don't even have to include that. Hey, just so you know, we didn't have time to get to Big Coop. Like, there wasn't enough time to get to. It's the Red Sox first free agent signing, of the offseason, and it was so irrelevant that we didn't even need to give a disclaimer of like that's not in this episode. It didn't matter.
Yeah, everything else has been trade. So, yeah, that is the first. Now, I saw Ian Condell, who does an unbelievable job with Sox prospects. He said, Criswell, I keep forgetting this guy's name, even though we're currently talking about him. Criswell was 90th percentile for extension, limited walks and hard contact last year. His sinker got hit hard, but his sweeper and cutter were effective. Now, he was using his sinker more than any other pitch. So one would surmise if he stopped throwing his sinker entire, like just knock it the fuck off, he'll be a fine bullpen option. Still, he's not like your 8th inning high leverage guy. But if he just stops throwing, the numbers here are barbaric.
I don't know, man. As a Yankee fan, I'm definitely shaking in my Timberlands at the thought of Cooper Is his name Cooper? Connor? What is his name? Cooper. Excuse me. Cooper Criswell.
Connor Copus. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah.
Shaking in my Timberlands. Just
he threw his sinker 34% of the time. Opponents hit 372 off of it 50% of the time.
Yeah, was he telling them it was coming? Like, yo, I'm about to throw a sinker.
Listen, I don't think this shit was sinking if we're keeping it 100, right?
Fair.
I think he's throwing an 88 mile per hour fastball down the middle. He's 50% hard hit rate. His sweeper, he was breaking out 28% of the time. 211 opponents batting average, 14% hard hit. Cutter, 25% of the time. 242, 19% hard hit. So those last two, unbelievable. Stop throwing the sinker all the fucking time, dude.
He doesn't look like, he looks like Luke Cornett. Like, he doesn't even look like a baseball player. That was the first thing I always do, is look up the images. I'm always like, all right, how does this guy, does he look like I could see him, coming out of the pen and maybe getting some big outs? Not at all. Like, no. He doesn't even have that going. He doesn't have that going for him. So, big Coop, man.
I love the Red Sox offseason. I'm a big fan of it so far. Huge fan.
All of the free agents are still available. All of them. Now, we're not going to get any of them either, but they're all available. All right?
Listen, man, Coley retweeted me like Saturday. I can't remember what it is I said. All I know is I had a band of Red Sox fans in my mentions being the purposefully dense doing that routine. I'm just like, oh, Lord, here we go with this shit. Like, well, you wanted to decide Ohtani? That's not the point, sir.
For $2 million? Yeah, I think they should have done that. That would have been an unbelievable idea.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Well, it was after I posted my rant saying we didn't get, like, Ohtani was available, didn't even try. And shout out, someone just posted this recently. Someone was just like, the Cubs never even had a fucking shot with Ohtani. And it was like, we know he already signed. We don't need to drag the Cubs through the mud. But it was like a Chicago reporter being like, boy, oh boy, were they not even close. It's like, all right, calm down. Like,
I like the truth. Tell the truth. Because the Cubs have been pump faking like prime Dwayne Wade for like 4 years now every offseason. So I like that. Tell the truth. They wasn't in it. They had no shot.
But it's just very funny. Like, it sounds like it was kind of just between the Dodgers and Giants, oddly enough. Shout out the Giants for immediately.
So it was just the Dodgers.
Well, I think.
Got it.
And the stories are all coming out now. They're leaking out slowly. It sounds like Shohei approached the Giants with the exact same contract he approached the Dodgers with, and they were like, no problem. Like, we're all in. Whatever you want, big guy. And then once the Dodgers were like, yeah, we'll obviously do that, he was like, sure, the Dodgers. But it's interesting to think if the Dodgers had any hangups on that, would he have was that like what he was most stuck on, the way the contract was set up?
I don't know, but he leveraged his free agency perfectly. He used every drop to his advantage, and I appreciate it.
I just want to know who gave Morosi the flight to Toronto scoop. Because
we think his people?
It has to be, right?
One of Shohei's people. Gotta be one of Shohei's
people. They denied that they were like,
the Dodgers were probably playing some bullshit games. Like, I don't know about this. Oh, you want Andrew Freeman to be secure in his job? I don't know about that.
Like he was on the hot seat.
Right. Like, they were probably hung up over something stupid, and he was like, all right, you know what we're gonna do? We gonna feed the goofiest reporter we can find. We're going to feed him that, we on a plane to Canada. Very goofy. We're going to feed him that we're on a plane to Canada, and we're going to feed other people like we might sign today. And then we're going to see how the Dodgers react to it. We're going to see if they're going to let me go over some nonsense. And then, lo and behold, the next day he signed.
I do like the creativity. I like it's like, okay, let's have a Japanese pitcher set up a reservation for 50 at a local restaurant. Like they went the next level, right? That's
ruined that poor woman's surprise birthday party, man. That's so funny. Funny. Funny.
The more I think about it, because I felt bad for Morosi, and it's like, he's gonna recover. His apology, tweet. You would think that he said something like really bad. It's like you got to report. You got to report bad. Like
what's funny is that Morosi does about 15 worse things every single offseason. So I don't even know. He's apologizing now, I guess, because Shohei's involved. But I'm like, big dog, you've been doing this yearly. You've been tweeting nothing burgers up and down the timeline every 5 minutes on average every year for like the last 6. I don't think this is where you should be apologizing profusely. I think you should have started that process like 6 years ago. But
yeah, I mean, he's definitely had a lot of like just reiterating what's already been known. But I've never known Morosi as a guy that gets like big reports wrong. He normally is the guy that gets the assist.
You
and
don't
then
get big reports,
has,
period.
No, I know, but he normally he gets the ball rolling a lot of times, and then Passan's like, "Let me take it from here." Like that's typically how it goes.
Right.
But if he was that guy forever for us, I have no problem with it. It's just if you're going to start to get in the with the big dogs and try to break the Ohtani news and you get that wrong. That's like a 5-year penalty.
Wrong.
Yeah, you got to take it like an offseason off or something.
Shohei
like
was in his fucking couch eating Fruit Loops, and we're talking about he's in Canada. Like absurdly wrong. Couldn't be more wrong.
That was tough. And then to transition to like just sticking with Passan because I love mentioning him. Jeff is just a funny dude to talk about because he knows he's the top dog and he kind of acts like it. He then has the tweet with the Giants not getting Shohei. It's like outfielder Jung-Hoo Lee's deal with the San Francisco Giants, 6 years, $113 million, is a monster deal and finally lands the Giants a big-time free agent after missing on Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, and others. I'm like, let's pump the brakes. Like this guy, we were all talking about this guy as being a Shohei or an Aaron Judge. Like come on, man. Let's
big-time free agent is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, but I understand when you swing and miss like Joey Gallo every single offseason, and then you finally make contact. Yay!
It did kind of feel like the Giants said to use this wording, like, please tell the people we got to be free agent.
It's still a 9-figure deal for the Giants, and it wasn't re-signing one of their own guys to it. So I give them credit for going out there and landing that guy. Now, it's interesting, last offseason when the Red Sox, and Chaim Bloom specifically, landed Masataka Yoshida, oh, what an overpay. How could you give this fucking guy so much money? What, like, where do the Giants get all this credit for signing this guy, this light-hitting defensive
especially when they went down the phone book and called everybody until they got to like name 88, and then name 88 took their money, and we're supposed to throw a parade for this. Like, no, somebody just took their money. Somebody finally went out with them on a date. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's just like the difference in an offseason. Like the Giants get all this praise for landing a guy who's probably going to be solid. Like I don't want to make it out to be like this guy's going to stink. I have no fucking idea. I know you were interested in him for the Yankees before they got whoever the fuck they got. But Yoshida, and I was going to talk about him regardless, but Yoshida was like a known, like really good hitter. Like every American who pitched over there was just like, I could never get that guy out. Every Japanese player who pitched over there was like, can't get that fucking guy out. And Chaim took a load of shit 24 hours after signing him because they lost Bogarts right after. It was like, oh man, what a panic move to sign this guy who really any other year would have won Rookie of the Year. And it's insane to me that he
did. Oh yeah, Gunnar won.
Yeah, the Orioles had like 20 options, and also the Red Sox had an option too.
They just spun a wheel. All right, we'll go with Gunnar Henderson. Fine, there you go.
I saw today, and I don't know the history of the voting here, but I saw today that GQ Japan, my favorite outlet, that's where I get all my baseball.
You talk about it so much. I'm like, Coley, shut up about GQ.
I know
Japan.
It gets old. It gets old. But today they named the best baseball player of 2023 was Masataka Yoshida. Now, A, it's correct. I think we can all agree that was correct.
Yeah.
B,
who's we?
Is everyone else like, do they only give it to a Japanese player? And if so,
I mean, what the hell, dude?
Even if that's the case, though, like that's still wrong.
The
like,
most obvious choice is sitting right there. Like, what are we doing?
Is this like was this one of them like participation trophy? Like they just got tired of voting for Ohtani? Like, did he win it like the last 4 years? And they were like, all right, we're just sick of giving it to him.
Yeah,
like,
do we have a list? Do we have a list of defending GQ
Japan
MLB?
Inquiring minds would like to know. Yes,
GQ. I mean, I'm sure it's such a list. Baseball.
Is there a list? Let me see. Yoshida's the only one that really comes up.
Yeah, I don't. Is this like the intro? This is the first one.
This might be the intro.
That would make it even wilder if it was the first one. It was the first one.
If it's the first one and Yoshida got it by hitting like 200 for the last 2 months of the year, that is just an absurd.
Hey man, maybe they voted on that shit in June.
Yeah, All-Star break. They're like, get your ballots in right now.
Right.
I mean,
Maybe
listen, he also had a really good World Baseball Classic. I don't think that we should be ruling that out here.
Mm. And they just conveniently missed when Shohei was playing in the World Baseball Classic. You're
going to give it to a closer? I don't think so. Like,
yes, bro.
Good luck.
Yeah, there's no list. Are you seeing a list? I'm not seeing a list.
I'm not seeing a list.
I think he might be the debut GQ Japan Player of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree.
That's crazy.
So, like, what I'm really asking is, what did the Dodgers pay for? At best, the runner-up.
Looks like.
I mean, I don't know. The Red Sox ain't paying for shit, so maybe we should focus on that.
No, maybe that's where the $2 million came in. You're like, we can't give you more than $2 million a year. You're not even the GQ Japan Player of the Year. Like, come on, man. You're worth $2 million.
You clearly have no juice. You clearly have no juice. If you can't even win that award, why the fuck are we giving you mad money?
Your own neighborhood's not really fucking with you, Shohei. What's going on here? That Shohei really should be thankful that this award came out after he signed. His market would have crashed. Yeah, like in 1928 all over again. Like that shit would have.
Dude, it's clear why all this Toronto stuff they were scrambling. They're like, I don't know, create something about the Blue Jays. Let's just try to get the attention off this release on Yoshida because we're screwed if we don't get that done. I'm still upset. I shouldn't be this upset about how he announced it, but like a blurry Dodgers image for how everything about Shohei.
It was very funny.
Everything about Shohei and his image is very like kind of pristine. Like he's kind of presented as this almost untouchable figure, and that's what his team does. And then it's just this like if you just search Dodgers logo, I think it's the Wikipedia Dodgers logo that pops up, and that's what he used. And he's like, all right, let's roll with that for the biggest deal in North American sports history. It's bizarre. I don't get that.
He knew. Listen, when he probably got the call from GQ, like, listen, you got to get something out quick before they pull that.
One of his buddies at GQ Japan like rushed out of the meeting, was like, I gotta give him a heads up. Like this is about to drop. I gotta let my boy know because he's gonna get screwed.
I don't know what their qualifications were. I don't know how they came again.
That's probably exactly why the Morosi report was dropped.
Yeah.
This is why. Gotta think. This is why.
Morosi does get a lot of bylines in GQJ. It's true, but I like, again, even if you narrow it down to just the guys on that team Japan, he would he medals for sure, like gold, silver, bronze. He's on the podium, no doubt. I don't know that he hasn't been one of the top 2 most talked about Japanese players. And even if you want to bring it all the way back to the World Baseball Classic, the story of that team, at least in this country, was fucking Lars Nootbaar.
Yes,
like, look at how zany it is that this guy's on the team. Isn't that wild? Like, I don't know. I don't know how it happened, but shout out.
Are we sure they're not just saying the most handsome baseball player?
He is quite handsome. He's stunning.
It might be that.
Wait. Hold up. It says GQ Japan names St. Louis Cardinals Lars Nootbaar Man of the Year. That's this year. So Yoshida's just the player. Nootbaar's top man.
He's that guy. Yeah.
He has the juice, apparently.
They said he's him, but this guy's better at baseball. So
GQ Japan confirms Lars Nootbaar has the juice, names him Man of the Year. That's what they did. That's crazy, dude. Man of the Year for what? Like,
that's what I want to know. What did he do to get Man of the Year?
What did he even do on Team Japan? Wasn't even not that good.
He got a lot of followers. I remember that being.
Oh yes, follower count went nuts. He had a cool speech.
He was getting a ton of followers.
He was the top follower, guys. We're gonna name him Man of the Year. WBC stats. What did he do? Let's see.
He was like their Jason Williams. He was the white guy from the hood. They couldn't believe it. Yeah, they were like, "We love this fucking guy."
Anytime he talked, they all just laughed. Like he could have said anything, and they thought it was the funniest thing of all time. He hit 269, no homers, 4 RBIs. He had no extra base hits. This guy wins Man of the Year, no XBH. That's crazy.
I don't know. He must be doing extreme work away from the field. Don't know what that entails, but man,
you all right, white boy of the year in Japan, 2023.
This guy can stay award of the year. Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like, and this is right in your wheelhouse, Coley. Like, we just want some qualifications. Like, just give us a couple of like rules as to how you're voting. That's all we're asking.
That's where it's like, I'd love to see if this is the first one. Great. Maybe it is a lifetime achievement award. And even that, again, like, there's no qualifications I can really wrap my head around that make a ton of sense.
I didn't know this guy existed until the WBC. Like, how is he winning anything?
It's absurd. Like, any like previous list where I could be like, oh, Shohei has won it 19 times in a row. I get, like, Karl Malone won an MVP. I get it. And I'm very apologetic to Masataka Yoshida for comparing him indirectly to Karl Malone, but it happened. But it's like, I don't just show me a previous list of winners. Show me like 7 of his family members vote on the panel, like something to let me know
overview of what the damn trophy is supposed to entail, like what you're supposed to do to win the trophy, like something. Anything?
Is there a trophy? Anything. Do we know if there even is, and what would that look like?
Fair.
Who know? A lot of questions.
A trophy, a plaque. What goes with it?
Feels like it's a plaque. It feels very blackish. Like it's probably expensive, but like it looks. Mm-hmm. I can picture that being cool. I mean, in Yoshida's defense, he cleans up really well. Like, he looks good in the suits very and everything. Handsome. It's like, this is a handsome guy. There's no getting around it. I wouldn't say he's like super attractive. He's specifically handsome. So it's like, maybe that goes into the voting as well. Who knows? But at the end of the day, it's
gotta be.
It should have been it should have been runaway Ohtani. He's got to be so pissed right now. I'm sure he's very upset that he didn't win this.
Even like Yamamoto, massive story. Who's the fucking fat third baseman they got over there who hits like 57 home runs a year in Japan? That's going to be posted in 2 years and go to the Yankees. Like, that guy's unbelievable too. Like, there are a lot of really good Japanese baseball players right now. Masataka is absolutely one of them. I just don't know that he's the best of them, and that's no knock on him. They just won the WBC. It's the best team in the world. It's like, it would be like picking Team USA's best player for basketball, and it's like Klay Thompson's holding the award. Like, I just don't know how we got to this point.
They get Donovan Mitchell that award. It's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like, it's like unbelievable player.
But like, I don't know about this.
He's good to the kids. He gives his sneakers away, but like, I don't know, man. Top player,
man of the year. Like, God, that's high praise. We sure we want to give high praise to this person? Higher praise? Excuse me.
Is he Japanese as baseball as Carmelo Anthony? Is that who he is? Like, a guy who's just really good at like regular season, really good. But you get him in international play, he just goes to another level. He's stacking golds all over the place. Like, maybe that's
people carry him to those. Like, yeah, I could go with that.
Yeah, that was not what happened in the Olympics. We're not here to slander Olympic Melo. That's
hey, man, go look up the numbers. Don't shoot the messenger. We'll look him up.
Listen, those were rotating casts around him, and he was showing up every 4 years.
That's what we're doing?
They were.
Okay.
Those were not the same 11 other players around him every 4 years.
Did it need to be? He was like the 6th best player on those teams.
Based on what happened in 2004, yeah, it should have been. It probably fucking should have been. He was like 17 years old then. That wasn't his fault.
What's your point?
You said
he was like the 8th best player on the teams after that.
Maybe if Kobe and Iverson and the fellas were more locked in 2004, it wouldn't have been all on Melo's shoulders coming right out of Cuse.
Fair.
Dude, 33 points a game in 2012. Melo was so ready for the Olympics. He was like so.
Was that Brazil? Was 2012 Brazil?
No, 12 was.
Oh, that was London.
That was London.
12 was
right?
London.
Yeah, didn't they do the doc on that team? Was that 08? Maybe
that was
08.
That was 08.
22 a game in 08. He was like, I gotta improve. And then the NBA years in between that were like, whatever, I'll collect some checks. But like, he was just getting ready for the 2012 Olympics. 33.
16. Wow. 16 must have been Brazil, because Brazil is when he was like, this is like, if Melo had played his whole career in Brazil, I think they would tear down like the Christ Redeemer and build a Melo statue.
Yeah.
Just be him.
Doing the classic fadeaway.
Still with the 3 fingers to the head.
An enormous statue over the whole country that's got the 3 fingers to the dome would be hilarious. And you get to climb up and take photos like on the finger.
I think we'd work the Christ Redeemer statue into this episode, but I'm glad we got there.
It's impressive. We didn't talk about this. Malone too. I mean, everybody's invited to this episode.
I regretted.
We are hitting on a lot of buzz points in this episode.
Yeah.
We'll touch on Soto in a minute because he obviously had his press conference and a reporter asked. I guess we'll do it right now since I'm doing the whole fucking intro for it. The reporter asked the question that was obviously going to be asked. How are Yankee fans handling hearing Soto being like, we're going to play out the season. Whoever pays me the most money, it could be here. Whoever pays me the most money is where I'm going.
Yankee fans aren't the brightest bunch. We could agree, right? Okay. I know I am a Yankee fan. I understand that, but I don't claim a lot of them. So like they're handling it like you'd expect people to handle that kind of stuff. And there were people who were cutting quotes and putting half quotes out there and leaving them. And it's like, what did we expect Juan Soto, like a generational hitting talent on the last year of his deal with Scott Boras as his agent, to say when he is on the last year of his deal? What did we expect him to say? Of course he was going to say that shit. Do I think the Yankees are going to, assuming he does not forget how to hit, that would be tragic. Assuming he does not forget how to hit over the course of the year, do I think the Yankees are going to look at him and be like, nah, we're just going to let you go. Good luck to you in your future? No, I think they're going to make their best effort to re-sign him. If Steve Cohen wants to pay him $1 billion, hey, maybe he might go. Maybe. But I think they're going to make their best effort to re-sign him. As far as how the fans are taking it, how they're taking everything else. Just there are some of us who are just like, just get to the season. Like, we'll address when he signs, if he signs in December. And there's some like, oh my God, how could he say that? What did you expect him to say? You expected him to sign at the conference? Is that what you expected? Like, did you expect him to sign on Zoom? Like, all right, yeah, I'm signing my 13-year deal for $600 million. What do you expect?
Why wasn't he at Yankee State? Did I miss why he wasn't presented with the jersey and all that, and he did it seemingly in like a closet? Like that was
because right now he's purely a rental. That's the only.
So you say you gotta
assuming that's
you gotta save that for like the whole,
Oh yeah,
10,
like
12
if they re-sign him next year, they're gonna have the whole pomp and circumstance and everybody. Yeah. But
they'll Photoshop an image like Garrett Cole with Yankee for life. Like they'll make it seem like one. Like Juan Soto grew up a Yankee fan and all that.
They're gonna change all of his history to be like in the exact house Manny grew up in, like legitimately a block away from Yankee Stadium.
Forget,
no, that was actually
Juan Soto lived in the Bronx. He lived in the Bronx growing up.
Rob Cano was his favorite player.
Yeah,
I can't wait to that.
That conveniently comes up in like
the next
September of next year. It's like, oh, all right, like right when you're trying to pitch him.
Yeah, they're gonna drop the Robinson Cano as his favorite player. I'm just waiting for it. Yeah. I'm just waiting for them to get the right opportunity to drop that. But Juan Soto's a Yankee. It's great.
He is. What I thought was more interesting was when they didn't ask about the contract, but when they asked about hitting behind Judge, he was like, "Yeah, it's going to be a great year." That one felt weirder to me than being asked about the contract and being like, "Yeah, you know who to call." Like, yeah, that's just business as usual. Yeah. When he's like peppering it in other answers, that's where it's like, that's weird. That's a strange thing to say.
I mean, they asked him about that, and he said, "I'm gonna." When they merged like that question with like spring training, or at least he brought up spring training, and then he was like, I'm gonna try and enjoy myself while I'm there, and everybody's like, well, he's there. Oh my God, he's doing this like it's just a stopover. Like he said he was talking about spring training, but either way, all the answers with regards to contract and long term stuff, it sounded like a guy who's been briefed on this. It sounded like a guy who's like, yeah. Scott Boras like, hey man, you better not give them no fucking leverage. I don't want to hear it. You better be like, hey, you are a man with 1 year left on his deal. Act like it. And that's
like
like
he had a sheet of like keywords to use, and he checked
Yeah.
a lot of them throughout the
Yeah.
throughout the press
Right.
conference. Like, oh, if Judge
Right.
comes up, be like, I'll be with him for 1 year and maybe more, but guaranteed for 1 year. I
I'm
mean,
going to
part of
try to enjoy myself while I'm there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Whatever.
briefly there. As a Sox fan, I mean, obviously the position we're in right now, me and Coley, is to be defensive. And so with the Soto deal, my first thing was to jump all over the 1 year thing. That's where you got to do it. But
Oh
now
yeah, I know how this one goes.
the more
I
I've
know how this
the
goes.
more I've like sat with this and seen him, in the edits and all that, and the Yankees putting it out, it drove me so nuts that the Yankees tried to be cute with like an Arson Judge type tweet. I'm like, nope, your account sucks. Don't get
It is a
cute
bad
now.
account.
Like
It's a bad
if
account.
you're losing during a game, you don't post the whole game. Don't get all cute now when you luck into getting one of the best players for 1 year. But it hit me.
Luck.
No, what? No, good.
It was
Good.
luck or collusion.
Whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Collusion.
Pick which word you want.
They gave
However
them
it
a
happened.
really good package. What
Shut
are
the
we talking
fuck up.
about?
No, they did not.
But now it's
They
setting.
gave them a
It's
really
setting
good
in.
package.
It's setting in, Kev, that like when you see him physically with the Yankee hat on, and it's not an edit, it's not a Photoshop. It's starting to set in a little bit. Like, okay, so he's gonna have a big year. Like he's gonna have a big year.
Massive year.
I don't think there's any doubt he's gonna hit bombs. He's gonna be so cocky. Like, there's no real reason to be super cocky in like San Diego and Washington D.C. on those teams. Now you're in the Bronx where everyone is just like grimy and everyone's like, go fuck yourself. Like that's now he's gonna bring that to Yankee Stadium. And the one homer he hit, basically every homer he hit at Yankee Stadium, it sucks because like any video you see of him, like, oh my God, he's just so good. He uses every part of the field. The one homer he pulled, he just chucked the bat to the ground. And I could just see like a live version of the jersey edit happening with that video from like Padres to Yankees, and then
I'm so
throw
ready
the bat
for it.
down.
I'm so ready for it.
It just
I'm
sucks
so
because then
ready.
it's like it's settling in now. Like, at the bare minimum, it's gonna be a dominant season for him. And then what does that entail for the he's gonna be a free agent. I'm trying to trick myself into thinking, what if they make the World Series and God forbid win it? That only increases his value to other teams. That's where we're already going. This is how sad this is. Like,
But
You want them to win the World
No,
Series?
not want
so
it.
he leaves?
I'm just saying if they actually make a run, like, is it going to be better for us because then he won't be here long term? Coley, that's where we're at. Where it's like, are we
you
sacrificing
think they're
a
gonna
Yankees
make the
title?
World? You think the Yankees are gonna win the World Series?
No.
Have a ticker tape parade? No. Let me finish.
Oh yeah,
and then let him go.
Well, I mean, he can go. It's not like
Yes.
legally.
Of course he can go. Anything is possible. But they're
I love the idea
going to have the
GMs
highest
being like,
offer.
I didn't buy it before, but now.
Yeah, I'm just saying this is how delusional. Like these are the stages of it, man. Like it
For
all
sure,
it
I
starts
get
with
it.
denial. Now it's like, I hope they win so we leave. I don't know. We're like making up scenarios that don't even.
Oh yeah.
You
First it was they're
gotta
not
hope,
going to get
like,
him.
Yeah.
What you need to hope for is, and I'm not wishing injury on someone, but the best path for him to leaving. Judge gets hurt like immediately, like the first pitch of the season, done.
Or slamming into the
And
center
then-
field wall where he wouldn't have had to be if Soto.
Yeah,
wasn't-
exactly.
There
Yeah,
you go.
There- he trips over Verdugo, who's like not even paying attention. He's arguing with a fan because he still hates them. And then Soto goes like really 0 for 0, but he goes like 45 at bats straight with a walk, and Yankee fans are like, this guy fucking stinks. And then he's just like, I'm out of here, dude. Like, that's the best case scenario. But the realistic thing is he's going to play the rest of his career there. And it's disgusting and that's where I turn all my ire. And I turn it, I can't even say all of it. I turn half of it to the front office, the other half to our idiotic fucking fan base. Like, we weren't in a position to trade for Soto. The Yankees finished in the exact same position as you last year. What are you fucking talking about? They were the same team.
They don't have
They
the
were
pitching
both
that the
awful.
Yankees had, to be fair.
Huh?
They didn't have the pitching the Yankees had to give up, to be fair.
What fucking good did it do for the Yankees? You were bad. And if you think Garrett Cole's going to replicate that shit next year, you're out of your mind.
Okay, when he does, we will be here to talk about it. When
he's not going to. The whole reason he won Cy Young is because he knew the team was bad. He knew there were no stakes last year. That was the whole reason. He's never done it any other year. Why hasn't he done it before?
They robbed him of a Cy Young. What you mean? Why didn't you do it before? They robbed him of a Cy Young. Go look at his numbers and Verlander's numbers the year Verlander won. He was better in every category. They gave it to Verlander, I guess, because they gave Verlander's to Snell like 2 years before that. I'm not sure why they did it, but they did it.
I mean, without overdoing it, like I would have been way more worried seeing Yamamoto signs with the Yankees versus Juan Soto has been traded to the Yankees.
Oh, you're gonna see it. What is it? December 13th. You're gonna see it in a week.
You're like, oh, it's coming.
You're gonna see it in a week, no problem. I'm 1 for 1 because I said on this show before Soto got here, like embrace inevitability. It's gonna happen.
I would be
embrace. It's
shocked
gonna
at
happen.
this point.
Yamamoto's gonna be a Yankee. Clip this if you need to.
I'd be pretty shocked just given the fact that the Dodgers are paying all their players 19 cents an hour. If they didn't get Yamamoto right now, especially with the whole pitch they have with Shohei being like, why don't you come play with me? Like, I feel like the Yankees don't have a way to top that.
Hideki Matsui's adult cinema collection is the clear-cut way to top that, with all due respect.
Fair rebuttal.
My former left fielder. Thank you very much.
Fair rebuttal, but
I do respect Hideki Matsui. He drove me nuts when he played, but I don't know that that's gonna. I don't know. Like Shohei just bought that in cash.
It was a good stretch there. I feel like we were most scared of Matsui. I feel like he was the guy. If he stepped up, I'm like, oh, this is going to be triple deck. Like this is going to be crushed. And Giambi, all these other guys, I'm like, I don't think they're going to do much. But
yeah, no, Matsui was horrifying. I mean, he was the one. Grady Little was like, I think Pedro after 7 2/3. This is your 4th time seeing Matsui. You got him. You fucking got him, pal. Like,
meanwhile, they had a lefty warming up in the bullpen, mind you, and he was ready to go. And they were just like, Pedro on pitch 180? Sure, go out there, get him, go get him, Pedro.
You got him, big fella. So yeah, that I don't know. Hal, I think he's like basking in the wind too much to double down. I think he's going to keep adding, but I don't know that he's going to outbid the Dodgers or really the Mets. Like they still haven't done anything.
Mets
they got
have been
The
weirdly
Mets
quiet.
are not getting him, man.
But haven't the Mets been strangely quiet? I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, because nobody wants to play for them. That's why.
No, I know, but a certain money point, it's like I gotta say yes to that. I'm just surprised we haven't heard more Mets rumors, honestly.
I mean, I think part of that is because Shohei was like, yeah, I'm not playing there, big dog. Lose my number. I think if that didn't happen, we probably would have been hearing their name involved more. As a matter of fact, Shohei probably should have used them for even more leverage, but that's neither here nor there.
Just kidding. The flight's going to Queens.
Right. Right. Just use them for more leverage. Like, oh, Uncle Steve will pay me whatever I want. You sure you want to let this happen? Like, he should just use them for more leverage. But Yamamoto's not signed with no Mets, man.
If Cohen offers the most, I don't know that he would sign with the Yankee. Like, I don't think
he got to offer him the most by like a good like $40 million for this to matter.
I don't think that matters to Cohen at all. Like, and when you say no one wants to play for them, all Scherzer did after he got traded was like blow the Mets. He was like, what, they handled that so well. Like, they did such a good job trading me here. Like, I don't know that players think they disrespected the guys they signed. You know,
it's not a matter of that, but we're talking about the big market teams. We're talking about the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers. The Mets are the least desirable of those locations.
For me and you, I don't know that.
And for them,
the Mets have signed more players out of Japan than any team.
Fair. That's true. Fair. Now we're talking about the players the Mets have signed out of Japan and Yamamoto are on a different level, correct?
I don't know that it's fair to say that because the rest of the MLB devalued Senga last year means that it's
true, but Yamamoto's numbers are way better than Senga's. And I'm not saying that disrespectfully.
Yamamoto's maybe the best Japanese pitcher of all time.
Right. So like we're talking about a different level of cachet here. And a lot of dudes ain't trying to go to the Mets.
I don't know that that's true.
When this offseason goes, I'll be back next week. And we'll have the same conversation.
Sure. What am I missing?
I'll say the same shit.
Or Shohei, when Shohei signed for $700 million, and I thought all of that money was real money, I took the Dodgers out of it, and I was like, he's probably going to the Yankees.
Right.
When I thought they're paying him McDonald's money, then I was like, oh, he's going to the Dodgers.
Listen, don't get me twisted. I would not be surprised if he goes to the Dodgers.
It seems like you would be surprised. You just guaranteed him going to the Yankees.
Oh, I did. I'm talking shit. Let me talk shit.
You said cut it. Like that's not a talk.
He just got Soto. He's earned himself a little talk shit.
I'm talking my shit. Yes, I think he's going to be a Yankee. Yeah,
and you said Cole was going to win the Cy Young next year too. I'm not going to let that.
I didn't say that. I said
you absolutely did.
I said he's going to do what he did last year.
He won the Cy Young last year.
He pitched great. That's what I'm referring to. Whoever they give the Cy Young is whoever they give the Cy Young. Baseball writers have been on crack for a long time with regards to these votes.
If
so
the
he might
money's
do the same shit
similar,
and lose the damn award.
I don't get why you're so confident he would go to the Yankees if the money is similar, and even if the Mets offer more. I think he would just go to the team that offers the. I mean, I think he's going to the Dodgers anyway. But like, if it's between one of the New York teams, I don't know. Is it that much more desirable?
Nobody ever picks the Mets over the Yankees. Ever.
You're thinking about it in such an American way. Like that's it's just not.
And different ownerships in the past. I mean, this is a different ownership situation than you've dealt with past free agents.
Sure, but like their situation isn't as good as the Yankees right now either.
I guess they're pretty similar. Yeah,
we just got Juan Soto 4 fucking days ago.
Sucks, dude. You're not even factoring. He sucks.
He does suck. Yeah, he does suck. I mean, he played in as many playoff games as the Mets last year, if we want to call it out.
Exactly. Guy was on a losing team.
All these, the more we're talking about it, all of these teams, all 3 of them wear pinstripes. They all fucking stink. That's how I see it.
Our team stinks too. Every team sucks. Every team sucks. That should be the name of the show. Every team sucks, and just go with that.
Not
the only teams that suck. Yeah.
Only teams that suck.
Only teams that suck. Yeah.
They do suck. That's not inaccurate.
Coley, one real quick thing on the Red Sox and Yamamoto, just to humor the situation. Now, I knew I was going to get a laugh, but so I don't think Yamamoto is going to sign with the Boston Red Sox, but there is a big portion of the fan base that's still entertaining it. Just at one of the most simplest forms, if we're doing some math here, to get Yamamoto, the Red Sox would at the bare minimum have to give him $100 million more than any free agent pitcher they've ever given. So, like, that's just not going to, in the current state they're in, because it was David Price, it was like 217. So you're probably going to have to give like 315. This might be 350. Who knows what this ends up at for Yamamoto? I saw Heyman and
listen. If you don't have to pay the guy until 2050, who cares how much?
Exactly.
It is?
Just give him
genuinely. Who cares?
Yeah, give him $1 million a year. Cut the Shohei in half because Yamamoto can't hit. $1 million a year, and let's do that for 15 seasons.
If Yamamoto signs the same kind of deal Ohtani does, they're going to get rid of that so fast. Oh my god!
Oh, the pressure to get rid of it's going to be. If it's just Ohtani and you can have that as a one-off, it's one thing. But if other guys aren't doing this, they're going to be like,
I think they're changing the rule regardless.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be the same moving. Like
but it's going to get changed like tomorrow. Like if that happens, like it'll get changed in normal time. If it's just Shohei, it's going to get changed in 24 hours. If we see Yamamoto signing $285 million, it's deferred. We're going to see that shit change in 24 hours.
Yeah,
I don't see a world where. I've seen a couple of people say, why would they even take a meeting, the Red Sox, at this point, knowing the other teams that are in the mix? And it's because they're a PR firm more than a baseball team. Like, they want Red Sox fans to believe, like, we gave it the old college try. Like, what do we genuinely think their offer is going to be? Like 180?
I was about to say max 200, honestly. I think max.
I don't think they're playing.
This ain't even a joke. Like, we're dead serious. I think it would be max 200 million.
I know
it's hard, joke,
but it's funny.
Like, again, you just need to bring it up. The Royals just outbid them for Seth Lugo. Like, it's hard for me to picture. It's like, no, we needed to save that 3 a year because we needed to juice. Yamamoto's up to like 199. Like, I don't know that's what they're cooking with right now. Craig's been active in the trade market, and by active, I mean he traded away Verdugo, he traded for Tyler O'Neill, and he traded for Isaiah Campbell. Is that the guy's name we got from the Mariners, the reliever?
Yeah.
We signed Bob Perez, and we got Cooper. We got fucking Coop.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just don't know, and I understand. Like, I've seen a lot of people make the point, like, every team's going to make these smaller round out the roster moves. It doesn't really matter what order you do them in. That's all fair and true. When that's all you've done, and it's really all you've done for several years now, it's hard to picture the big move like around the corner.
And you said it, Coley. They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. Like, there's a lot of people. There's a big portion of the fan base that's like, guys, why are we? It's mid-December. I'm like, yeah, it's been mid-December these last like 5 years, and nothing's happened the next 3 months after that. So obviously, I'm going to think that continues to be the case. Like, it doesn't matter that Breslow's here. Like, it's still the same people writing the paychecks. Like, of course, I'm going to think they're going to finish in third, fourth, or fifth in these free agent pursuits.
But aren't you guys being a little bit hard on a team that just acquired a guy who finished 8th in the MVP voting like 3 years ago? Aren't you guys being a little bit smidgen hard on them? A little bit?
And they got Bobby Pete. No, I know. I understand. It's they got some pieces with Cooper and with O'Neill that really are gonna change the game.
It's just a shame that Tyler he just cannot stay healthy. Like that's the biggest problem with him.
I would be more excited about Tyler O'Neill if he had 3 years left on his deal.
Oh,
the fact that it's 1 and he's injury prone, it's like we got younger Adam Duvall.
He's here for a year. He's
very cool.
Yeah, he's maybe
he stays healthy and puts up a monster year.
At that point, then you're paying for 1 year. Like there's no real win there. You know what I mean?
I mean, the win is he improves the 2023 team.
Maybe if the rest of the team is around him is the one that's currently there, you're not improving.
It improves from 5th to 5th. Like it doesn't. You don't really
fair
go anywhere.
So that's where it's just like I don't in a vacuum. Just that move alone, I think it's a win of a trade. You do it 1 million out of 1 million times
for sure.
When you look at the rest of the roster, it's just like again, if that's the last move you make, sick. And we were saying it last night, the JD Martinez negotiation. I don't remember how much you remember of that because it wasn't your team. But it started at the beginning of the offseason.
Into like the borderline spring training?
February.
It was
in spring training. It started.
Right. It was getting close to opening day. Yeah.
It started at the very beginning of the offseason, and Boris was like 200. Dombrowski was like, we got 110 for you. And then like 2 weeks would pass and Boris would be like 190. And Dombrowski was like, we got 110 for you. And at no point was I worried that we were not going to get, especially since you guys had already traded for Stanton. At no point was I like, we're not going to get JD Martinez. Like clearly no one else is playing in this realm that he wants. Dombrowski just kept shoving 110 at him. And then he took it. Like that was there. At no point was I worried we were going to lose out on JD Martinez. I live in a constant state of worry now. And it sucks. After 18, I remember me, Steve, and Jared that offseason and me being like, why wouldn't we just sign Bryce Harper? Because he signed super late. He and Machado both signed super late.
He was spring training too. Yeah.
That was when the owners were all colluding against the players. And so I was like, what's stopping the Red Sox? It had already been floated they weren't going to re-sign Mookie Betts. It was like, so why wouldn't they just sign Harper now, knowing he's going to be cheaper and he's just available right now? And it just like it never even crossed the Red Sox mind to be like, yeah, why wouldn't we do that? Like things would be so different around here if they had traded Mookie, but they had already signed Bryce Harper. Oh. A large portion of the fan base would have preferred that, but also it's like your team just wouldn't suck as much. Like it just flat out wouldn't suck as much.
Yeah, dude, it's sad. I mean, you got basically half a decade now. Just getting back to, and this is kind of piggybacking on what you just said, of expecting that they're not going to make the move you want them to make. So it drives me nuts when there's fans on this day, like currently, not in past off seasons, like currently in this off season, being like, why are you flipping out about Seth Lugo? No, it's you're not losing your minds over Seth Lugo. It's the concept of potentially being outbid by the Royals, and the concept once again that maintains into this offseason that you're gonna keep finishing in third on all these free agents that you need. Like you need these guys to build out a rotation. Yet that somehow became along the line like that Lugo was going to be an ace. No, that no one was saying that. But like you need multiple guys. I give credit to the Cardinals. They were like, we're going to get 3 starters. They already have. They've already gotten 3 starting pitchers. And you can say what you want about
They got their starters like 3 minutes at the free agency. So they were just like, all right, let's just get this shit out the way.
Well, their president was getting destroyed by the fans, very similar to ours. And he's like, you know what? I'm actually going to say I'm going to get starters and then I'm going to do it. And he just did it. It's like, wow, like you can say you want it and you just pay the money and then the guy comes. That's how it happens. It doesn't have to be this like complex thing. And yet we're over here like begging. That's what makes us look stupid. Because now I was kind of begging for Seth Lugo. And now it's like, really? Have we turned into that where I'm like, please get Lugo? Because I don't know if you're going to get anyone else. And so, of course, then the Royals thing stings. Because it's like you needed a guy like that, and the freaking Kansas City Royals got him, man, like that.
I'm not confident they can land Giolito right now. And
No.
Giolito hasn't been good for 3 years either. And
He
I'm still confident. Like, he's young enough. I do believe in his ceiling and all that. But I don't think he's going to pick us. You know what I mean? That's where it was like, that's where I wanted to trade for him at the deadline. I didn't think we were a playoff contender last year, but
Yeah.
get the guy in house, get him acclimated, make him like other guys here. And then, especially when you bring in Bailey and Breslow, it's like, all right, yeah, now we're all in on pitching. You've already been here. You like it here. Whether or not he did is, I mean, we'll never know. But now it's like, all right, Lugo gets picked off. Sonny Gray gets picked off. All these Lance Lynn gets picked off. It's like, yeah, Giolito's market's just going to go up, even if he sucked last year. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the Dodgers are already circling him because they're going to trade Pepio for Glasnow. It's like, what are we waiting for? I don't know what the waiting for.
And you got to sign guys to then get the other guys. Like, you have to bring there are so many, not so many pieces away. I mean, it depends what the pieces are, but you still have to, if you want to get back to where you want to be, and the full throttle line by Warner, I'm sure he already regrets saying that. That entails that you're going to be aggressive, and that aggressiveness is going to pay off because other players will see it and be like, oh, okay, they're going for it in Boston. No one would say that right now. So, like, where is it going to start? Who's the first guy you're going to get, if any guy? There's no guarantee that they get any of these top 10 free agent starters. I mean, it still feels like Montgomery, it's a decent chance, but you needed a Lugo or someone else on top of that, like Giolito, like you're talking about, and I don't think he's coming here.
Even are they going to outbid anybody for Jordan Montgomery? Because it doesn't sound like that's not what it doesn't sound like that's what current management is about over in Boston.
What about Montgomery?
Are they going to pay him? Are they going to pay what it takes to get him?
I'm worried what it's going to cost to get Montgomery when those rumors started.
It might cost $25 million a year.
I know,
close to it.
When the Montgomery rumors started and he's moving to Boston because his wife's here and all that stuff, it's like, all right, but now the longer we go, and guys like Erod, who are in a similar ballpark of Montgomery in terms of rankings for free agent starters, these guys start getting picked off, and it's like, Montgomery now, let's say Snell signs in a week. There's been a real lack of Snell rumors, honestly, for a guy that's guy won the Cy Young and his name like never comes up.
I feel like everybody's terrified of him.
Yeah, well, everyone brings up, oh, he averages like 5.6 innings. He's filthy. I don't know, like maybe.
And he averages like 5 walks to start. That doesn't help either.
No, I get it.
Stuff is nasty.
I get it, but like the guy's, he's filthy. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that part of it's a little overrated. But those guys start getting picked off. Yamamoto, let's say, signs with the Dodgers in a week. Or Kev's got him go to the Yankees. But like, if that happens, now Jordan Montgomery's the prized piece of like the guys that are left, and are the Red Sox going to get him? I don't think so.
Well, this is where, and I already yelled at him because he was the first guy to sign. Like, what the fuck was that, Aaron Nola? Like, what?
I know.
You signed immediately? You didn't even talk to anyone else. What an asshole. Like, what an asshole.
He wasn't trying to get Freddie Freeman.
A ton of money to go to one of the best teams in the league.
No, I mean,
yeah, that would have sucked.
I mean, for Freeman wanted to go back to the Braves, and then the next thing you know, the Braves like, oh, you taking too long. We got Matt Olson, come on down, and then the next thing you know, Freddie Freeman had to find another team. That's probably what Nola was on, because like Dave Dombrowski's not going to sit there and wait for nobody. He was like, all right, listen, you didn't want to take that shit, fine, we will find somebody who will. So he probably
I'll give him credit, because like I feel like any of us would have, and obviously we're accepting a $172 million deal, but just if you're in that position and the type of pitcher Nola is, he doesn't really seem phased at all by Philly. They seem to have a good relationship, the fans and him. Why wouldn't you want to just stay 7 years, 172? Yeah, of course. Yeah, right. I'll stay. Yeah,
no, for sure. I definitely understand why he took it, but as someone who roots for a different team that needs starting pitchers
and that needed him,
fucking selfish. Yeah, really selfish dick move. I'd be thrilled with Snell, but it doesn't seem like he aligns with what Breslow's been like Breslow has stressed. He wants guys who throw strikes, and Snell's like, I'm going to do everything I can to not throw strikes, but get strikes nonetheless. So that's where it's like, I like how they view the art of pitching could not be less aligned. That's where it's like, I don't, and he's got that pesky qualifying offer. It all makes me sick. Like all of it, the fear of signing someone with a qualifying offer is like, I get you don't want to lose first round pick. How, like, I'm as invested in the farm as a person can be, especially a Red Sox fan. Like, we're not the A's, we're not one of these teams, although we act like it. At a certain point, like you just lost 7 people to the Rule 5 draft. Like, you can have too many guys in your system. Like, that is thing. That is a thing that happens. And if they're all in this timeline where they're all kind of several years away, why aren't you punting that second round? But not punting, but like, it's not like you just lose the pick. You're signing a player. You get a player as well. You're not just losing the pick for nothing. You're getting what appears to be one of the better players in the league. That's where it's insane to me.
And the thing that sucks is that this ownership group never had us in a position to be worried about losing a qualifying, like losing a pick. It's like, oh my God. Now we have to be in that headspace of like, how worried are you about it? Because I'm not. I don't think you are. Are we supposed to be worried about this? Like, worry about signing the pitcher, give up the pick, whatever. I don't. I mean, you're the farm guy, Coley. So like, I would understand it more if you would value the picks more. But like, if you're not, they should not be.
What killed me about the entire Mookie thing, and I genuinely do hate bringing it up every fucking time I talk about the Red Sox, but it's hard.
I love it personally. I'm a big
people
fan.
talk about the Babe Ruth thing for 86 years. I feel like being in year 5 of the Mookie thing feels fucking K. But like the whole thing people were stressing was like, oh, you can't pay Mookie. What about the international pool money? The international pool, the thing you can trade for? The thing people sell to each other every fucking year? What
people
are you talking
hand that
about?
out. They hand over pool money. Yeah, just for fun.
It's insane. Like, it's not like they take it away forever either. It's a 1-year penalty. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, these are not. You're talking about like a 27-year-old entering his prime. Like, what? We're not paying 43-year-olds. Then I'd understand. Yeah, you don't want to do that and lose your. That makes a lot more sense. And if you've ever gone and looked at the guys who get this international pool money, we're talking about like 5% of them actually even reaching AAA, not even the majors. Like, these are lottery tickets, and they're very important lottery tickets. I'm not trying to say they're not. You obviously get superstars, you get Devers, you get Xander, you get guys like that all the fucking time. I understand, but it's few and far between. Like, that's the part that needs to be hammered home. So if that's the reason you're not going to sign a proven commodity at the MLB level, that's insane ass backwards thinking.
Just give me the pool money. I'll take it. I'll take the pool money.
I love the pool money.
Yeah, pool money, man.
Not if we have to let a star player go to get some. Like, no, I'm good.
Give me that.
Like, if
money.
the Yankees are going to be over the CBT next offseason, which one would assume they're going to be, and people are going to be like, oh, we can't sign Soto. We're going to lose $1 million of international pool money. Like, you should be able to beat these people to death. Like, that feels fair to me. That's so insane to me.
That someone with a baseball bat.
Yeah. You can legally beat him to death.
Just cracking them over the head. It's insane to me.
You're gonna lose a draft pick if you sign this. Who give a fuck about
Brian Cashman is dead, but legally murdered. He's legally dead. Nothing illegal happened. It's because he let Soto go.
If there's one, because we didn't talk about this on ITM, if there were one move, trade or free agency, you could force happen, what would yours be for the Red Sox?
Snell. It would be Snell. Oh, I mean, it's funny because my brain's already at it would be Yamamoto, but like my brain's already like that's even under these fake circumstances, it didn't even allow me to say Yamamoto. Like that's.
I respect how you defaulted right to the realistic. That's good.
I don't even think that's realistic, but it's more realistic.
It's under an unrealistic like prism. It's like I was still counting Yamamoto out, even though you can make up whatever you want to say. Yeah, Yamamoto, but it just sucks when you realize, like, we're not only are we not going to get him, when we find out what the number is, we're going to laugh. We're collectively going to be like, well, obviously they weren't going to do that. And then all of a sudden, if you're obviously weren't going to do that, as for Yamamoto, Montgomery, even Giolito, which I wouldn't be like super pumped if they got Giolito anyway, that's when it sucks. And the trade market part is tough too, because a lot of these guys are 1 year. Like, if you got Corbin Burns, I'm pumped, but it's a year of Corbin Burns. That's not going to have me super excited.
That's where I would hope they would do kind of like what they did for Porcello, where they traded for him and extended him immediately. Obviously, that was like 82 and a half, or they basically got Lackey's contract. I can't remember the exact number. And it was probably an overpay, but it was at a time where you would overpay for somebody, and it was like, those are pennies to us. Now it's
you
like,
don't think Burns would take 82?
A year, maybe.
I just found out
Defer 81 of it.
He's a Boris guy, though, which I just Googled and was upset to find out.
Yeah, but Boris guys aren't all the same. Like Soto's,
they aren't created equal. Yeah, they're
textbook,
different. Yeah,
textbook Boris guy. Burns last offseason was like, if someone tries to dick me on 100K again in arbitration, I'm going to beat them to death. So that's where it's like, if you come with a reasonable offer, Boris knows the market. He knows the climate. If you're going to pay him what he's eventually going to get in a year, he's not going to tell a guy to wait, especially a pitcher whose arm could fall off at any second. That's where I think you could trade for and extend Corbin Burns. For me, and I feel like I'm the only person even talking. Well, Stats talks about it too, so I'm not going to give that credit. I still think you need a middle of the order bat. Like they have a lot of decent hitters, and it's kind of like a sum of all parts thing. And then at the end of the year, their numbers are like top 5 collectively. Game to game, it doesn't always feel like that. Like they'll get some gem pitching performances rarely, and they'll lose like 2-1. And it's like, well, where was the offense today? That's where it's like, if I could go get someone that would make me feel like, oh, they kind of matched what the Yankees did when they went and got Soto. They kind of matched other teams when they went out and got like an actual star.
Can I interest you in a lightly used IKF?
I mean, we're definitely an IKF. He's going to be like our number 3 pitcher.
Yeah.
But I think there's a star out there from a really, really stupid team that could be had because they also just hired what I believe to be a stupid GM. Go get me Luis Robert. Go get Lou Bob. You get me that guy, I'm going to be happy. Yeah, you're already saying no because you're terrified of what he would do.
No, I'm saying no because the Red Sox ain't paying what it would take to get him.
I don't know that that's true.
You think they're coming off of Marcelo Meyer?
I don't think listen, we did this when we were getting Chris Sale too. Like, I don't think the White Sox are a smart organization. I don't know that that's who they're looking at.
I don't think they're, can I say that in good faith? Yes. I don't think they're that stupid. Stupid, yes.
They're pretty stupid.
You're going to have to pay to get it. Like,
remind me again, what's the biggest free agent contract they've ever given out?
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're stupid. Exactly. Yeah, they're fucking stupid. You know that.
I don't recall.
Stupid team.
I don't recall.
They're trying to move to Nashville. They're not a bright organization.
What? They're trying to move to Nashville.
Yeah, you don't know this?
No, bro. No.
They met with while other teams were meeting with Ohtani. Why am I blanking on the White Sox owner's name?
Isn't it Reinsdorf?
Yeah, Reinsdorf was meeting with the mayor of Nashville because he's trying to move the team there.
All right,
fucking idiot. Dude.
I'll walk my statement. You got it. You win.
Yeah, go get me that guy. They're already talking about trading Cease. He's got years left. I don't understand.
They're totally getting fleeced in the Cease deal.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, of course they're going to get fleeced.
In the Cease deal.
They got fleeced for fucking Jake Berger. You think they're not going to get fleeced for Luis Robert?
The conversation's going to be like, hey, man, what would it take to get them? Okay, we want this prospect, that prospect, that prospect. Sir, do you realize that this man had a 4.3 ERA last year? All right, you're right. We're taking number 15 prospect, your number 20 prospect, and a couple of Wendy's burgers. Sure.
Make him doubles. Make him doubles. Yeah, when Tyler O'Neill got traded to the Red Sox, Coley, off the point of what you said about the lineup, they did one of those projected lineup deals on MLB Network. I almost cried. I was like, don't. And,
who was hitting third? Was it Trevor Story?
It was Story, yeah. It was it was like Duran, Devers, Story, Yoshida. O'Neill was hitting like
Trevor
fifth.
Story is going to have a bounce back season.
I mean, he
can't
be
deny
worse.
That.
He can't be worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like, there's only up to go, and hopefully he stays healthy. But still, it's seeing that it's like you get multiple emotions. The first one being like, this can't possibly be our lineup, and the second one, I was almost upset at like, are you guys really thinking that's gonna be it? Like, that's what they're actually gonna roll out there? But then you got to remind yourself, maybe it is, because they keep talking about how pitching's going to be the priority, and then we'll get to the the position players, it's like, guys, it is fully legal to do both at the same time. Like you're not penalized at all if
super on the table.
you can totally. It's like you have to let the league know we're going for pitchers in the next 2 weeks, and then after that we will go for the hitters. Like
I don't know why more teams, and maybe this is illegal, I don't know, but why more teams don't bring in multiple free agents simultaneously and be like, hey, wouldn't it be sick if you guys played together? Like, that seems like an easy strategy to me that must be illegal because I've never heard done.
And then how cool is it? I love the double press conference. I love when there's two guys up there. I mean, I was even excited for the Hayward and Kyrie Irving one.
I was going to say, that's all I can think of.
That's the first one I thought of was Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving. But still, the double conference it's like all right, we're here. It's a statement. And if you're able to do
it's a power move.
It's a power move.
Yes,
yeah. So it's like, if you can do that, then yes, like go for these guys at the same time. But it still feels like it's very, all right, we're going to, pick this piece now, pick that piece then. We'll talk to Yamamoto and make sure the fans know that, but then we'll let that person go somewhere else. Like, that's basically kind of where we're at right now.
And I know Robert's not going to I know they're not going to trade for.
But you're not wrong in floating that. That's what they should be trying to do.
Yeah, like he's young enough, so the people who keep telling me like, oh, the timeline, like you can accelerate the fucking timeline. This isn't the NBA. Like, I understand the timeline talk more in the NBA because guys do need to mature. This is baseball. Like, you got 43-year-olds, you get 18-year-olds. They're all playing the same sport. Like, you can accelerate the timeline super easily.
I agree.
And even if you don't want to accelerate it, if you don't, like, I agree, you'd have to probably make a choice. Trying to think. I think Rafael is in this deal because he's major league ready and could play like plus center field defensively for you right away. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I think you're gonna have to give up one of your pitchers that like actually has some promise. So like a Perales or your Donnie, like one of those guys would have to be in it too. And it's also each team values certain things, certain types of players. Like we talk about with the Nationals when they were trading Soto, all they wanted was James Wood. No other team had a James Wood. Literally none of the other ones.
Yes.
So that's where it's like, yeah, it makes sense that they traded for James Wood. So you don't know. It's kind of like when fucking the Pelicans just when the Kings demanded Buddy Hield. They were like, we need to get Buddy Hield. I don't care who we have to trade for him. You never know what these front offices want in terms of prospects. So it's not even like, we're going to throw Nick York into it just because he's the new Dan Uggla. So there's guys that it's not like we have this shit farm system. Shout out Bleacher Report too. I don't know who we're paying over there to have the Red Sox ranked number 3 in prospects. Like, what are we talking about, guys?
All right.
What?
All right.
I was hoping they cracked the top 10. They got him 3rd.
They've got him third.
Granted, let's be honest though. I feel like there's no bigger variance in like a rankings that you can see than farm systems. Farm systems,
yeah,
all
over
1,000%
for sure. But yeah, this is BR walk-off. Shout out to him.
I do like
the Orioles. They've got the Orioles 1. I'm not going to push back on that. They seem to have every prospect in the world. They've got the Cubs 2. I feel like that's already wrong. I'm not saying the Cubs have a bad farm system. I just don't know if they're 2. They've got the Red Sox 3. I know that's wrong. And I love the Red Sox farm system. I know they're not 3.
I know that's incorrect.
No, that's wrong.
The reason I saw this graphic was because I saw a Mets fan, shout out Q. He quote tweeted this because they have the Mets 4th, and he was like, "That's not true. That's just not true either." So I think the train got off the tracks right about 1, because they have the Dodgers 10, and I know that's also wrong. The Dodgers have a great farm system.
The Dodgers have a great farm system every fucking year. They trade 1 million people from it. Doesn't matter. Just the train keeps on rolling.
Right. And they keep losing qualifying offers. So how the fuck are they pulling that off? Makes me wonder.
Deferrals.
But yeah, I know they have I know they have a top 10 farm system, and I know if they trade out of it, it won't be burned to the ground immediately. But we have all these shortstops. Mikey Romero was just picked in the 1st round. Blaze Jordan, everyone knows I drafted him. He still has plenty of potential. He's a borderline top 100 guy. Miguel Blaze was a top 100 guy last year. Then he got hurt. He's still 20 years old. Like, he is a top 100 prospect, whether or not they have him on the list.
Does he even have arms anymore?
That's for the next team to find out. That's not anyone's business.
That's for the White Sox to find out.
When a prospect gets hurt, he gets treated like, well, that guy's dead now. Like, well, obviously he's not going to have any value. Like Meyer, it's like, why you think Meyer's like that good? Yeah, he got hurt. He's going to be. It's not like a catastrophic injury. Like he's going to come back and still be really good. What are we talking about?
He advanced up a level even while hurt, and then when he got to the new level, he was just like, "Well, I'm still hurt." We talked about it. I think it was one of our first episodes. Dominguez in the midseason dropped to like 90.
It was so weird.
And it was like, what?
Jason Dominguez pushback was so weird. So it was born partially because the hype when he got in was insane. Sure. And then it felt like, even though he came in at like 17, it felt like he was around and not really doing much for like 5 years, even though it was not 5 years. So it was just, then like, I'm tired of hyping this guy. He's 98 now. Like, well, he was 25 the last one. What changed? Why is he 98 now? What changed?
Is he pitching now? Did he completely give up on hitting? Why?
What happened? Like, did he get a foot severed? Like, what's going on? Like, why is he 98 now?
And then he came up and he was amazing immediately. So that's where it's like, you're right. There's a ton of variance. And that's why you don't, when people speak with such certainty about what other teams will take in return, when time and time again, we see guys get traded for way less value. Don't make me bring up the Juan Soto trade again. Like
First of all, you were arguing with me what it was going to take. I won that argument. Second of all, they got a good.
Well, because I thought at least one other team would try and trade for it. And that was my argument.
And I told you how that was going to go. But the Padres got a good package. Stop disrespecting the package that they got. They got a good package given the context. Now they had to trade him because they're broke. That part is not great. But given that they backed themselves into a corner, they did quite well in the return that they got.
Why did the Padres get so broke so fast? Like what did they? What happened? If
Xander Bogaerts $500 million for a reason.
But I'm saying if you do these contracts, it's almost like they got surprised. Wait, what did we give them? It's like it hit them during the season. Like, why the hell did we do that deal? It doesn't make any sense. I can't remember a team giving out this much money and then immediately just being like, well, obviously we have to trade one. So what? Like you could have easily seen this stuff coming up. I feel bad for Padres fans. I was hoping, one of their most fun seasons was. I just enjoy. I like Tatis. I'm just saying. I enjoy watching the flair and all that. One of their best seasons was COVID, and you got nobody in the stands, and Tatis is throwing his bat into like the 6th row, and it's just like. It's like
I know this isn't hitting fucking anyone.
Yeah. He's cranking one and just throwing it into the upper deck, and it's like it doesn't matter. But that sucks. It just kind of sucks that it's that quickly, like bang. I mean, they got Michael King. Hey, they got Michael King now. So
I'm saying they got a good return. I don't know why we got to lie and pretend
I'm going to be following Drew Thorpe's career with such a fine-tooth comb. If he even ever makes it to the majors, I'm going to be watching every fucking pitch from Drew Thorpe.
Coley's got Thorpe tracked. You have a tracker on him right now. Like, I want to know where he's spending all his days. I'm going to
if he wins less Cy Youngs than Roger Clemens, I'm going to be furious at that rate. Just furious.
Oh, real quick, I wanted to mention this. This is a good time to mention this. Roger Clemens tweeted today because the Yankees have that tweet of Juan Soto's in the building, whatever. Here, like, come on down to the pro shop, jersey number 22. And Clemens quote tweeted it with 22 with the eyes emoji. Is that like were y'all going to tell me that you're giving 22 to this guy? They've given 22 out, right? Wasn't Ellsbury?
Ellsbury wore 22.
Okay, all right. But I don't keep it, obviously, like Coley, like we keep track of Red Sox numbers. It's probably one of the stupid things that we care about. The fact that he tweeted that, I immediately was like, wait, is Juan Soto the first 22 that they've given out since Roger Clemens? I guess, just kind of rooting that was like that was some drama, but I think it's
there's
more just
a really
Clemens.
Easy Clemens and 22 joke here that I'm not gonna make, but yeah,
come on,
yeah, I'm not gonna. I said I wasn't gonna make it. I ain't make it.
Come on,
you didn't make it, but for a second, only reason I bring it up is because for a second I was like, wait, is this him being upset that they gave it to Soto? It's like, okay, right, Jacoby had it. Forget about that.
I'll never forget the fact that the Yankees were like, man, we just cannot give Robinson Cano 10 years. We can't do it by under any circumstance. And then their plan B was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna give Jacoby Ellsbury 7 years. The guy who played on a competently run team in the division who had zero interest in bringing back Ellsbury. It was like, hey man, good luck to you. We appreciate what you did for us. That well, we ain't got nothing else to talk about. Good luck to you in your future. And the Yankees, we want to be the future, and then sign that bum. And then
he took none of the good luck with him too. I thought that was weird. He took none of it. He just refused the good luck.
I hated that sign from minute one, second one. I saw that. I was like, oh god. You saw the rumors like the Yankees are really interested in Ellsbury.
Well, I stand mistaken, by the way. They've given Clemens' number to 20 players since he's been there.
20?
That's wild because Ellsbury was there for like 7 of those years.
Ellsbury's had it for the most years. Ellsbury, it was Cano had it for a couple.
Yes,
Troy Hawkins, you got Xavier Nady, Randy Wynn.
I remember
they
that.
give this thing out. You can get this number.
You can get 22.
Vernon Wells had this number. I forgot he even played with the Yankees.
Yo, there was like 2013 and 2014. So many like former great players played for the Yankees in those 2 years that you always forget played for them. Like I forget Ichiro ever played for the Yankees every single time, and it's always brought up. I'm like, wow, that's right, he did play for the Yankees because I clocked out in 13 or 14. I don't give a fuck about nothing.
There's a clip of Ichiro and Derek Jeter where I was like, that's cool. That's just some base, but they just give each other this like laugh and this smirk, and every time I have the same reaction. Right, Ichiro was on the Yankees. I have no recollection of that.
No, every time. I don't remember it at all.
I'm glad you brought up the Clemens thing, though, because the Red Sox not giving anyone 21 all these years is insane.
And let's be honest, we got to be surprised, not just with that, but that they haven't done the ceremony yet. Like, they've had him back for the Red Sox Hall of Fame. They've got Wade Boggs into the Red Sox Hall of Fame.
So 21 is basically unofficially retired?
Essentially,
it has been since he left.
They retired Boggs. They retired Boggs' number, and he showed up in the Yankees World Series ring. Like, how is Clemens not qualified to be up there?
Because the Red Sox have very stupid rules that they don't even abide by, where you have to make the Hall of Fame and you have to pitch for the Red Sox, or you have to play for the Red Sox for a decade. Like, you have to make the real Hall of Fame before you make the Red Sox Hall of Fame. And I know that they just didn't do that for somebody. Like they they
put it in the Hall of Fame and they put his number up there. So yeah, there's some guys that just they conveniently forget the rules for certain guys and then bring them back for others. But
I mean, listen, Clemens, I wouldn't retire his number at Fenway. I would give it away.
Well, you don't need to. It's one of those. So obviously, they can't help themselves sometimes. It's like, who's asking for a Clemens Red Sox retirement day? No one needs that. I mean, I'm sure Wakefield's going to get one. And likely Veritek too. I'm sure they'll do both of those, and no one's going to complain about that. But why would you do Clemens?
Those make so much more sense to me. Like Clemens was your best pitcher ever up till that point, and then he's like, you know what? I really want to go back home to Texas and live close to my family. I'm going to sign with the Toronto Blue Jays, the Yankees. And then the Red Sox were like, no one's ever going to touch 21 again, but we're also not going to retire. Didn't Beckett want 21?
He did, yeah. And they're like, not happening. Yeah. No, in 2030, we might retire Clemens' number. So because of that,
because of that, the same thing with Paul O'Neill here for a while. Like they just wouldn't retire 21, but they actually gave it out. And then like it became, I think LaTroy Hawkins had 21. We just mentioned LaTroy. Yeah, he had 21. I guess he traded to 22. And he must have came out in April and was getting lit up. It was like he had like a 6 ERA. Brother, they were booing the shit out of this guy. Not even because of performance, but it's like, you suck with 21 on your back. And then by the time May hit, he had 22 on his back. I was like, I don't want no smoke with y'all. Okay, I will give back the number.
I actually respect that. Looking at the jersey number list right now, it was like Paul O'Neill from 93 to 01. Then no one had it until 08. I didn't know Hawkins had it for 2 months and was like, bad idea.
He was like, no, sir, I want no parts of this shit.
I'll take Clemens. I do like that he then just takes Clemens.
And then they finally retired 21 after all of that time. Finally retired it last year. So.
Oh, they did. I was
gonna say, that was recent.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Which felt weird.
That's weird. Someone else wears it. And then
asking Paul O'Neill, because it would be like players who wore 21 on other teams that they're like, oh, Paul, what do you think? Should he wear 21? And Paul's doing the fake humble routine. And this is going on for years, and you're like, just either give the fucking number away or don't. We don't need to keep asking Paul O'Neill these questions. Please and thank you.
That's what I mean. Like if Yamamoto's like, I know 18's the number that he wants. I get that. The Yankees would never give away 18 preparing for Yamamoto. Everyone knows that. But if he was like, I'll only sign with the Red Sox if I could wear 21, I'll sign for way less than everywhere else. You're not going to give him 21. Like, you know how stupid that sounds? Like, it's so fucking stupid.
I will sign for $50 million total, 10 years. I need
that
21.
And we can even defer 49 of them.
Yeah.
Right.
10-year, $1 million deal. I just need that 21. No can do.
No. No can do. No.
Sorry, pal. Any other number. We'll take 34
Hey,
off.
Clemens, have an ounce of respect for one of our best pitchers ever. It's like, no one, Coley, how many people talk about Roger Clemens in Red Sox circles? The only time he comes up is when he hops into the Nesson booth once a year. And credit to him because he raises a ton of money for the Jimmy Fund. But
for sure.
I'm not done a lot. Roger Clemens, but it's more just like I forget about Roger Clemens every year in terms of the Red Sox connection. So from that standpoint, you don't need to do any ceremony.
I feel like he's done a lot, really, like the last 7 years with his Red Sox relationship. Because I fucking, you talk about hate. I hated Roger Clemens for how it was like the first person who broke my sports heart. Like, I grew up being like, that's the guy. And then he leaves in 95, 96. And it was just like, I didn't know people could do that. Like, I didn't know that was an option.
And especially, like you mentioned, it needs to be said again, especially the Blue Jays. I didn't know someone could go from being in the Sox-Yankees rivalry and be like, I'm going to go to Canada and pitch and win the Cy Young back-to-back years.
Right.
It's absurd.
Yeah, and I'm sure Red Sox ownership lowballed him. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what did happen back then. And it's different owners, so I can't even make fun of these current owners. But I know there was some lowballing involved. They probably thought he was done. They didn't know steroids had been invented, allegedly. And he goes on to have another Hall of Fame career after the one he had already had in Boston. When I argue Pedro is better than Clemens, I genuinely mean that. But there's 1% of me that's just fuck that other guy. The other 99% are just here are the facts. Pick whichever one you want. Yeah. That 1%, though, even if I was wrong, I would still argue it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I still respect that. You got it. You know how much of a baller and just how much dominance you've needed to have in the league to be towards the end of your career and be like, I'm only going to pitch home games. I'm staying here.
And from June on, too.
Not even
the whole year.
I know. Give me a couple months with my family, and I get to go out on the ranch and all that. But then I'll pitch some home games for you. And then, did he win the Cy Young? Or that wasn't the home game season. Did he get a Cy with
it wasn't
Houston?
He did get one with Houston. It wasn't the Cy. Okay. It wasn't the 8.
If it was the 10 starts a year, that would have been, give him the Cy Young. That would have been fun.
I mean, he was. I'm going to pull up his baseball reference.
His baseball reference is one of the funniest times ever. If you just want to look at something that looks illegal,
he was unbelievable. Roger Clemens was. I still feel like anytime a big righty comes up out of high school, he's the first person he gets compared to. I also didn't know he was from Ohio. That's shocking.
I just thought he was from Texas. Wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's not from Texas. I just assumed he was from Texas the whole time.
High school in Texas. That counts.
Yeah, he did go to high school in Texas, but he was born in Dayton, Ohio. Probably that same fucking hospital Steph and LeBron are from.
It produces only goats. It's just
yeah.
It says that out front. It's on the sign. If you're popping babies out here, you're gonna be making some money down the line.
So his first year in Houston was 2004. He went 18-4 with a 2.98. He won the Cy Young.
At what, 42?
41. Yeah.
His next year, he was 42. He went 13-8 with a 1.87 ERA. That was good enough for third. Who won Cy Young in 2005?
He had a 1.87 and didn't win.
Oh, Bartolo Colon. Oh, no, that was AL. Excuse me. Chris Carpenter won it over him.
He was behind D-Train, too. He came in third. Imagine coming in third with a 1.87. That's crazy.
His ERA plus was 2.26.
He had an 8 WAR, and he came in third?
Yeah, this was wrong. This was incorrect. This was not. Houston had 3 of the top 5. That's why he didn't get it.
Baseball voters were smoking dust back then.
Roy Oswalt finished right behind him, and Andy Pettit was tied for 5th with, of course, reliever Chad Cordero.
Cordero.
Chucky C.
I heard that name in a while.
And that 2005 was the last time he pitched a full season. The 2006, he started that. I got 100 innings for you. So he pitched 200 combined innings the next 2 years. He went 13-12. His ERA was about 3 over those 2 years.
Dude, 43 years old and having a 2.30. I don't care if it's 19 starts. That's absurd. He's got so much bold. His 05 season is just so, it's all bolded. It's all league best. And they're like, that's good enough for third in the Cy Young voting. We'll get you bronze.
I mean, his whole career. He's like, it is truly, it's
and
absurd.
He won what, 7?
7
Cy Youngs.
7 Cy Youngs is ridiculous.
That's so good.
7 Cy Youngs.
He should have had more.
Leagues. First one was in 1986. Last one was in 2004.
Didn't he finish second in the voting the year Dennis fucking Eckersley won the MVP? Didn't he?
Right, hey.
I mean, Clemens did win an MVP.
Did he?
That's what Baseball Reference is telling me. He won it in 86.
Classic reference, just sneaking in some lies.
Saying he beat Mattingly and Jim Rice, which that one feels maybe a little racist, but he did win the 86 MVP.
I had no idea Roger Clemens won the MVP until now. That's cool. Let's see. What was his numbers? Oh, 24-4, 248.969. Yeah, that'll play.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll play. Understood. Not gonna get an argument from me. Understood.
And this isn't even like a top 5 season he had, which is like, I'm not even kidding. Like,
that's absolutely bonkers. Roger Clemens is incredible. Was incredible.
Just according to ERA Plus, that was his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th best season was the year he won MVP.
That's crazy, dude.
And he didn't
ERA
win Cy
plus.
Young.
Yeah, we keep coming back to this, but for good reason. That 05 season, his best ERA plus in his career was 05 at the age of 42, and he gets 3rd place. What an awful Cy Young voting stretch that was. And he was 22nd in MVP. There were not 21 better players for National League MVP. What the hell are we talking about here? That's crazy. 32 starts, a 1.87 ERA, and a 2.26 ERA plus. That's better than Verlander did when he won the MVP. That's crazy, dude.
They had David Eckstein got more votes than him for MVP that year.
Oh,
what did he have? Like 60 homers or something? Eckstein was
oh my god, David Eckstein. Oh my god,
big power guy.
What are we doing? Trevor Hoffman, Chad Cordero finished ahead of him for MVP. They had a combined 2.6 WAR. Clemens had an 8.2. Now, the guy who won MVP did have a higher WAR and is one of the best players of all time. Albert Pujols won MVP that year. I have no qualms with that. Andrew Jones came in second. I'll never argue against that. The oft-forgotten Derek Lee had a 7.7 WAR that year.
Derek Lee was so good.
Wait, am I crazy? Who's Morgan Ensberg? I have no.
You don't remember Morgan Ensberg?
I don't recall.
He played for the Astros, correct? Mm-hmm. Oh my god, yeah. I think he had a goofy stance too.
I recognize everyone else on this list besides Morgan Ensberg.
I remember Morgan Ensberg.
No,
I don't remember much about him, but I remember that he played.
Third base. I mean, this was prime. What was this? 05? Yeah, this was prime me having like 17 fantasy baseball teams. So Morgan Ensberg was definitely a handful of them. Miguel Cabrera, I think he was 14 years old this year. He came in 5th. Brian Giles, top 10. I love that. Jason Bay came in 12th. That's wrong. This is quite a list. 30 deep. Jose Reyes, 30th.
Carlos Lee finished ahead of Clemens.
I'm fine with that.
He had a 1 WAR. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Good baseball player, but come on.
I mean, this list is like all the guys that we collected cards of growing up. Maybe a little bit past it, but there's so many names in. I mean, Griffey's in here. Like everybody's in here. This might be that wave right after.
Yeah, Morgan Ensberg had himself a year.
Trevor Hoffman's in here.
He sure did.
He had himself a fucking year.
Brian
Giles, underrated. You said what now, Coley?
Dontre Willis had the second highest WAR that year behind Pujols.
D-Train.
NL at least. The highest WAR was A-Rod for his second year in New York, and everyone probably hated him.
Yeah.
And he still won MVP.
05 A-Rod was definitely not beloved while he socked 48 dingers for a 1031 OPS in New York. They were probably like, yeah, well, we fucking lost the Red Sox last year, asshole. Where was this then?
He could have hit 80 homers and they would not have given a damn. It's like,
not at all.
Bro, every 2 at-bats he goes without a hit, he starts getting booed.
He played in every game that year. He's like, I will do everything possible to get your trust. And they're like, nope, doesn't matter.
But no, we don't fuck with you, dog.
He led the league in WAR by a full win. Like Pujols had an 8.4, A-Rod had a 9.4. He had 48 home runs. Andrew Jones led the league that year with 51. Good Lord, what a good year for baseball.
Oh,
bring back steroids.
Telling you.
I mean, all these guys were clean.
Bring
Tyler O'Neill. We're bringing steroids back to the Red Sox. That's what
hey, man, y'all got guns now. You got
know.
guns. You got guns now, man.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters, man.
This team fucking stinks. Just bad. I'm gonna refresh one more time, see if anyone got signed. I know they didn't. This is my least favorite part of the offseason. I'll end with this. My least favorite part of the offseason is no one's doing anything, and I keep refreshing my timeline, assuming like here come 10 deals, and they just never come. And when they do come, it's Roberto Perez. And it's like, why am I doing this to myself? Why? This is what I respect about basketball and even football. They get those deals done, like whatever next off seasons, those deals are already signed, and they announce them all immediately. And then you don't have to, like, you don't, it's over. You just move on to the draft. This sport, who fucking knows? Who knows when any of these people are going to sign? And I hate that.
The odds of it being when you're sleeping or at the movies is always like 100%. Like it's that
or shit after the show is done. Every week we record it, and then shit just magically starts happening within like the hour we're off or the next day or whatever it is. It's the most frustrating shit in the world.
Yeah. They hijack your whole offseason and then your team gets no one. It's a tough combo.
But when Yamamoto signed with the Yankees before the next episode, I'll deal with that. That's okay. I'll deal with that.
We'll see everyone next week. Thank you to Steve. Go follow him. Go subscribe to ITM now that he's part of Underdog. He'll definitely be back on this show more often, especially if the Yankees get Yamamoto, because I don't want to listen to that by myself. We'll see everyone next week and talk about Yamamoto's 15-year, $17 deal with the Dodgers. See you.